Many mourn the passing of Leonard Nimoy. One who did not is a conservative writer for the Washington Free Beacon. Now, what's funny is his beef with Nimoy. The reason he doesn't like the man is because he reminds him too much of President Barack Obama. Now, he talked about how President Obama had also expressed that he actually enjoyed the career of Leonard Nimoy. He associated with Spock. President Obama said this: "I loved Spock. Cool, logical, big-eared, and level-headed, the center of Star Trek's optimistic, inclusive vision of humanity's future." And so Matthew Continetti, that writer for the Washington Free Beacon, responded with this: "As I thought more about the president's statement, I realized he identifies with the very aspects of the Spock character that most annoy me. I don't love Spock at all. Not only do Spock's peacenik inclinations routinely land the Enterprise and the Federation into trouble, his logic and level head mask an arrogant, emotional basket case. Spock spends most of his life as a freelancing diplomat," which means screw him, "eager to negotiate with the worst enemies of Starfleet. He's the opposite of a role model, a cautionary tale." And by the way, so we've got some more quotes which I want to get to, but he says what's so bad about Spock is that he's a freelancing diplomat who, like, this guy apparently watches Star cease their hostilities and to stop doing sort of underground spying on each other and stuff like that. That's a great thing. That saved the lives of many. Inevitably, the Romulans all died because of a cosmic accident. But
yeah, but that was in the reboot, so it almost
exactly.
Count, so.
But that's a good thing. But no, there are enemies. We can't negotiate with them.
So there are three things that are wrong with that. Exactly. One, you never negotiate with your enemies. Why? Because we come from a different context than he does. We don't want war. We don't want people to die. We don't want, you know, in our case, thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands, as has happened in Iraq, to die, right? In the case of the Romulans, millions could have died, right?
Yeah. The biophage weapons, those are horrific.
But he doesn't view that as a bad case scenario. He views it as like, we're having fun because his ass isn't going to fight that war, right?
That's true.
These chicken hawks never, ever, ever, ever go, right? So to them, it's like a video game. And they're annoyed at people like Spock who are stopping their fun video game. I was going to send all these people over there and I was going to feel vicariously tough by having those guys kill other guys, and then some of them get killed, and I sit here and I feel like, yeah, I started a war, yeah, I'm tough, right? Yeah. So they don't like diplomacy, they don't like negotiating with their enemies, and the third part of it, and the most stunning part, they're against logic.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It was just flat out like that. He just said it straight out.
Yeah,
His
Spock,
logic.
Spock's logic. And they're like, yeah, well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're transparent about it.
Yeah,
you know,
he is.
at least there's a little self-awareness and transparency when it comes to this issue. Not in favor of diplomacy, not in favor of logic. It's that simple.
And by the way, he says there that it's Spock's peacenik inclinations that get the Enterprise into trouble. That's not Spock's inclinations. The entire point of pretty much all of Star Trek is that, yes, we are a military vessel. If we wanted to, we could solve almost all of our problems by just destroying whoever it is that's standing against us. It's that we know that that would make us worse off and them worse off, and so we look for the peaceful option. And they even have the prime directive. It's to not interfere because they know that getting involved can make a society worse off. Maybe if we had paid more attention to that before intervening in Iraq, we wouldn't have ISIS rampaging across Iraq currently. So I've got a few more great quotes. Matthew Continetti says, "Spock is a jerk to his girlfriend Uhura," which is kind of true, I guess, although he had good reasons at the time. This, by the way, referencing the reboot. Who's way out of his league. I love that his problem is that Spock's dating a girl who's like too attractive for him. She is very pretty, though. He almost kills Kirk. He is so overcome with emotion he relieves himself from duty in the middle of a huge crisis, which seems responsible to me. Spock is rude to his father. And Obama likes this selfish jerk. The coolness the president so appreciates in Spock is a thin veneer over a remarkably arrogant and off-putting detachment from human suffering. As if you care about human suffering. What Leonard Nimoy's death revealed is that there is a sizable portion of Trek fans and of nerds in general that identifies with Spock's neuroses, his hang-ups, his self-loathing, that are attracted to the cold, soulless abstractions through which he views life, who believe in the naive and ineffective diplomacy in which he so thoughtlessly and recklessly and harmfully engages. Again, it was not ineffective. It will take America some time to recover from the legacy of our Spock-loving president.
Oh my God.
This guy's insane.
He relieved himself of his duty.
He had another article about how much of a bitch Yoda was, actually.
No.
Fuck that little green guy.